What's going on, everybody? So here we are going into week 3, and we still have probably more questions than answers when it comes to the Cowboys. I've been thoroughly disappointed with the offense so far, including the Giants game. I feel like had the defense not bailed us out against the Giants, we probably lost that game, and we'd probably be sitting here at 0-2. But fortunately, the defense has played better so far this season, and they have bailed us out. They tried to bail us out against the Chiefs. I mean, after Romo with the sack fumble, all we did was move the Chiefs back, and they ended up having to punt it to us. Now, unfortunately, the side effect of that is when you fumble on your own 35-yard line and you do hold them and they punt to you, well, you're going to be pinned back. Obviously, they had a good punter, and he put the ball where it needed to be. Their special team stepped up and kept us pinned back for the majority of the second half. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this football team, whether it's the play calling, whether it's Romo's injury, whether it's a little bit of both. I'm as confused as anybody else when it comes to this offense. Callahan supposedly is the play caller, but they also said in the offseason that they were going to give Tony Romo more of a Peyton Manning type role in the offense and the game planning and all that kind of shit, whatever that means. Now, if for some reason that added role, that Peyton Manning type role that Romo has, is affecting the play calling to this degree, then maybe they should pull the reins back on Romo and not let him do what he's doing. Otherwise, it's Bill Callahan, and you got to question why he's the offensive coordinator at all, considering the play calling that I've seen so far this year is worse than what we had last year, which was pretty fucking bad for Garrett. I don't know. I know we need to run the ball more, but I also know that this damn team needs to not point fingers at one another the way it appeared they were pointing fingers at one another late Sunday, early Monday, when DeMarco Murray is asked about it. He says, yeah, we should run the ball more. And then they asked Tony Romo about it, and he says, well, we'll run the ball more when we run the ball better. Now, I can actually see Romo's point when it comes to that, because Murray, for some reason, can't find the fucking running lanes. This offensive line is blowing up some pretty big gaps for him to run through, but for some reason, he feels the need to run right into the pile and down, like he's some kind of Earl Campbell power runner, which he's not. I don't know if he can't make the cuts or he's not seeing the holes. He's running with blinders on. If he's got tunnel vision, I don't know. But I do know that he left a lot of yards on the field Sunday, where he could have gotten some pretty good runs off of on Chiefs. There was some big gaps out there that he wasn't hit. So there was one where if he'd have cut it to the left instead of to the right, to the outside, if he'd have just cut it to the left and ran it in the middle, then he would have probably gotten 25, 30 yards if they would have caught him. But instead, he cuts it out to the right, and I think he got like 4. And that's just unacceptable. But at the same time, you got to run the ball. You got to run the fucking ball. When they're down there inside the 10-yard line, first and goal inside the fucking 10, you don't fucking throw the ball down there. That's football 101 shit right there. You just don't. Not on first down. You don't. You got to run it at least once, maybe twice. And if you don't punch it in after the second try, then you might have the opportunity for a play action. You might have the opportunity for a play action on second down, actually, if you do run it the first time. You have those options. But when you're lining that shit up, you got 3 wide on one side and 1 on the other. And no. That's just dumb. Fucking stupid. I wanted to break shit. I wanted to literally fucking break shit Sunday when I was watching this inept fucking offense on the field. Now, I don't know how good the Chiefs are. I mean, they're 2-0, so they're that good at least. And I don't know how good their defense is. I mean, some people tried to warn us that this defense was good and all this shit. But this is a game you have to fucking win. I don't give a shit how much improved the Kansas City fucking Chiefs are. You have to win that game. Every person out there that got the fucking schedule for 2013, when they looked at the schedule, they said, oh, that's a win. Everybody sees that as a fucking win. And when you lose a game that you know is a fucking win, when you're trying to figure out what your team's going to end up being for the year, well, now you're behind the game. Now all of a sudden, you got to beat a team that maybe you weren't expecting to beat. A team that's going to give you a lot more trouble, a better football team, like say the Packers or the Broncos or the Bears or some of these teams that you know are probably going to give you a fit Well, now you got to fucking win one of those games that you said, well, we might lose that one. We'll count that one as a loss. Well, now all of a sudden you got to win that one. That's just kind of how it works. You know, and you don't, I don't give a fuck. People can say, well, you don't underestimate the Chiefs. Well, they won 2 games last year. Yeah, they got Andy Reid, and then they got a decent defense and all this stuff, but you don't lose to the fucking Chiefs. You just don't. And we did. And I'm pissed off about it. I don't know what the fucking answers are, people. I wish I did. I'm glad our defense is doing as good as they are, but we cannot depend on the fucking defense to bail us out week after week. We just can't. This team is too good to damn play like this. I don't really have any hate for the Rams. I do think we will beat the Rams. So you can write that shit down. And if for some reason we do lose to the Rams, then I'll make a fucking crow video. I think the Rams have a decent defense. I think the Rams are very similar, actually, to the fucking Chiefs, in all honesty. They got a decent running game. They got an up-and-coming defense. You got Jeff Fisher, who's more of a defensive mind as their coach, versus them. Andy Reid, who's an offensive mind. Mark it down. We'll beat the fucking Rams. We'll go to 2-1. But then, you know, is it going to be another one of those fucking years where, okay, now we're 2-1, so what's next? 2-2? We got to figure this shit out, people. We're looking at a damn repeat performance 2012. Like I said, though, I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm just calling it like I see it. And if somebody else can chime in and tell me what the fuck this offense is doing, then please, by all means, fucking chime in and set my ass straight. But for what I'm seeing so far, the only thing going for us, believe it or not, is damn defense and special teams. I think the special teams is actually playing pretty decent. I mean, goddamn, we got a blocked field goal. That's another fucking opportunity we had that we blew. Anyhow, that's all I got. Later on.